Shall we start? Yeah. Miss Alvia, you can start.
Okay, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. On the behalf of Symbiosis Institute of Geoinformatics, I'm delighted to welcome you all to the inspiring session on Women in Science Empowering the Future. Today, we are gathered here on a special occasion to celebrate the International Day of Women and Girls in Science, a day dedicated to recognizing and promoting the vital role of women in STEM. Now, I would like to hand over to the Deputy Director of Symbiosis Institute of Geoinformatics, Dr. Vidya Patakar. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Symbiosis Institute of Geoinformatics, from Dr. T.P. Singh, Director SIG, and all the team members from SIG, I welcome all the participants and our own Dr. Stutee Gupta and Ms. Sonali Kulkarni ma'am. Welcome you all for this celebration which we will be doing today as a part of respect and honor to the women in science and STEM. So it is my great pleasure to welcome you all on this remarkable gathering where we celebrate invaluable contribution of women, specifically in the domain of science, technology, mathematics. So we recognize the brilliance, the contribution, the resilience, the dedication which all these women has contributed in some or the other way, right from Marie Curie, pioneering her work in the domain of radioactivity, Dr. Anandi Joshi, first woman doctor, Dr. Asima Chatterjee, who is the first doctor of science, and other wonderful ladies and women in the domain of science and technology. It is the day where we will celebrate it by giving them a respect and motivating all of us towards the journey of science and technology. So thank you one and all. Thank you Ms. Sonali and Dr. Stutee for accepting our invitation on this occasion and accepting our invitation to motivate our students and the participants. So thank you and once again welcome you all.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Alvia.
We have a first speaker, Dr. Stutee Gupta. Dr. Stutee Gupta, a distinguished scientist at National Remote Sensing Center, ISRO, where she specializes in forest mapping and monitoring, biodiversity characterization, and ecosystem services. Her groundbreaking research focuses on forest change dynamics, carbon emission from deforestation and degradation, and satellite-based ecological assessment, contributing significantly to the environmental conservation effects. She holds a PhD in forest informatics from a Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, and she has been actively involved in several national and international projects aimed at sustainable environmental management. Her excellence in research and dedication to the team development earned her the RMSI Ways Award in 2012. With her vast expertise in remote sensing, GIS application, and climate change studies, she continues to make significant contribution to geospatial science and policy making. We are truly privileged to have her with us today to share her insights and experience. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much for a very generous introduction. And I'm very honored to be here with all of you on this special occasion. So as I understand, this particular event is to celebrate the, participation of women in STEM and to encourage the young generation to pursue in this field further. As I understand, I've been given some 8 to 10 minutes of time. Is it correct? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So I will start, rather I would like to keep it informal and I would start with an anecdote. Like when I started my journey in the field of remote sensing and GIS, so basically that time I was a postgraduate with botany. Yeah. So botany is considered as a subject that generally people will study botany and they will go for some teaching job, especially when you are a woman. So today, when I am here and look back and see that, yes, it is what you desire, you become. So when I joined Indian Institute of Remote Sensing way back some 25 years ago as a fresher, and I got an opportunity to join one of the very prestigious project of Joint Research Center, European Union. So the supervisor under whom I joined, he told me, you are a lady, what you will do in forest. So that's how it started. So irrespective of whether you are a woman, if you have a passion, if you have a desire, then there you are. So basically science and STEM, when we say, so science, technology, engineering, and maths and all that, somewhere I believe that the subject like basic science, like botany, nobody will think of. And I am here, the living example in front of all of you, witnessing the journey what I have had. The second anecdote what I would like to share with you is that when I joined ISRO. So when I joined my project as a research scholar, basically it was thought that being a lady, I cannot do field work. And this is not that, what women can do with a background in science when I joined with background of botany. The second experience I would like to share is that when I joined ISRO, there is a module which is like induction training program in which the women or all participants are taken to the various center of ISRO. So we were there at Space Application Center, Ahmedabad, in a deep clean room where, the satellite building and those components, making of the components take place. So in my batch, I was the only one with the botany background, with PG diploma in geoinformatics. So you people are, most of you, I believe, who have joined this event are masters in geoinformatics, whatever their graduation subject is, but now they are mastering geoinformatics. So many of you would be from geography background, I don't know, or some other background other than the really, what you call physics, PCM, which is, considered as a kind of a science and mathematics and all that. So when we were there in a deep, that room, then everyone was introducing. And when I introduced myself, my background is master's in botany. So there was a loud laughter in the room. How come? How come a woman with a master's in botany background, what she's doing here? But see, what is important here is the ignorance among the people, and that, the limited knowledge of the people. Ki science is something which big experiments, complex mathematics, and all that. Yeah. And for women, all the way it is more difficult because it is considered that this is that thing to be done by men, which I totally disagree. I totally disagree. There are different reasons for which there are less women joining the workforce. Everybody knows, I need not to really, discuss on that because the session is very limited time. So this is how I started my journey, and I stand here proudly as a, I feel myself as an achiever coming from that humble background, and now in a, as a scientist at ISRO, where my work is recognized, it is rewarded, and there is so much to do that I always have that enthusiasm that yes, we can do something better. We are doing a lot of visualization of the geospatial data using new tools, every day. And there should be a, I would say to all the participants who have joined, that always look forward, that this is not the end where you are. Wherever you are, that is a beginning for a new tomorrow. So now we can go to the question. This is general thing which I shared about me. I thought it will help my fellow students, to take some inspiration, because I take a lot of pride in, what I have come through and where I am today. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an inspiring words. Now it's my privilege to introduce our next esteemed speaker, Ms. Sonali Kulkarni. Ms. Sonali Kulkarni is a passionate BI and analytics professional with over 20 years of industry experience. She has an extensive background in project management, governance, quality management, and in leadership development. As a senior advisory member and a visiting professor in analytics, she has successfully mentored over 2,000 learners globally and has played a pivotal role in designing and delivering training programs that bridge the gap between academia and industry. Her experience includes leading global projects, managing high impact teams, and developing future leaders in the analytics and data science domain. She has also worked extensively in United States and held leadership position in companies like Implement Technologies, Infosys, and Higher Information System. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Alvia, for that's a great introduction. Thank you so much, Dr. Vidya and Director Sir, who actually are pioneering this kind of events, which certainly helps women to look forward to and take up roles in technology. It was a pleasure listening to you, Dr. Stutee, and I mean, really, I could relate a lot to the experiences that you have shared here. And yeah, I mean, my experience, I would certainly like to share some of my experiences and to how it is for a woman to start a career in technology and stay in this field. So, sometimes starting is a little easy. So, if you look at the statistics, I mean, I don't want to get into that boring statistical and all those things. We all know that we all have access to the information. But certainly, statistics is not very encouraging about the roles of women in technology. So, although women start really well at the entry level positions, so if you look at the entry level positions, there are more girls. At least that is my experiences whenever we were hiring from the campus or onboarding the new batches. There are more girls. So it could be 60-40 or sometimes 70-30 as well. But then, as and when they proceed into their career path, not many women end up into a leadership role. So that statistics is really concerning. That concerns me when you look at the women at the senior position. So you can go to any company and their websites and look at the leadership roles. So women contribution is really less, and that is something that is concerning. And in this kind of environment and era when Dr. Vidya, Director Sir, and the entire SIG team is, hosting these kind of events, I think it is really good to see this things happening here. So yes, as I said, I would not say biases and such, but there are stereotypes. So if you say, if you just Google CTO, you and go to the images, you will see all males, all gents, all males over there. Not many CTOs. Google will show you that they are ladies. So this is not Google. Google is definitely not biased. This is how we are training the models. Or if you go to and ask for about the funny drivers to Google, they'll show you more of women.
I think मैम आपका म्यूट हो गया.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yeah,
Since when I was on mute, so that I would start from there.
maybe driving card.
Okay, okay. So I was just, explaining how about the stereotypes and how we are basically making those models biased. So, this is something that is certainly there. I haven't faced gender biases a lot in my career, but yes, I mean, as far as it comes to stereotypes, they are certainly there. So, how we are looking at the women in technology, how your co-workers, how your seniors, how your juniors are looking at you, certainly impacts a little bit on how you look at yourself. Self esteem or the self respect or the confidence to a certain extent. That there are events or incidences where these are the things which can be affected on your journey overall. Second thing I would like to say here is that to the girls especially is sometimes what you think is very difficult is not that difficult when you start or enter into it. So sometimes, you feel like it is very difficult to get into this specific journey or to get into the specific role. How would I, cater to the demanding needs of this role? Like, for example, in my role, I had to travel a lot, and with a very young kid, it was difficult. Certainly, it was difficult, but it was not impossible. So there were a lot of questions which were asked to me when I was doing that how do you manage, and do you ever think of, uh, quitting or taking up some simple roles? So let me tell you, to all those girls, there is nothing simple in life. Simple ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. And even if you make your choices considering that it will be simple for you, many of the time that ended up in being the most difficult one, the most difficult choice. So while you are choosing your career, don't choose on these parameters that whether it will be simple for me. Any career would go through all these turbulences and all these eras wherein things are a little bit simpler for you at times they are very, very difficult. So all the careers, may it be technology careers, may it be, the careers in data science or any other technology, it would have a combination of both. There are times where you will find that things are a little simpler and manageable. There will be times where you feel that things are not easy to manage, but you have to go through those that I mean, rather than quitting, you have to continue doing that. And there are days, and Dr. Stutee also have said that the era, the position that she is currently into, there is no looking back. So day, this day will come to everyone's career where there won't be any looking back, and you will not regret being going through all those difficult times and the difficult situations. There, this is the part of the journey, and you will certainly reach a position where you will see that ठीक है, अच्छा हुआ मैंने यहाँ तक के मेरा journey हुआ है. I didn't think of quitting, and this is where I am today, and take pride in what you have done and you have been doing. So this is what this is about my experiences. And I'll not talk much. I'll definitely like to take more questions so that, I would talk relevant to what you would want me to talk on. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an inspiring words. And now we come to the most exciting part, our interactive session. Now I'll hand over to our Deputy Director, Dr. Vidya Patkar, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Alvia. Thank you, Dr. Stutee and Sonali, for wonderful experiences. Our students and participants are really eager to interact with you, and we have received few questions from our students. We'll start with Dr. Stutee. We have the first question from Mr. Seba, MTech Geoinformatics. So, Seba, you can ask your question. You're not audible, Seba.
Dr. Vidya, you can ask on her behalf
Uh,
if she's not there or
Uh,
not. On her behalf, if you can ask.
so Seba has given a question on are there any initiatives or projects where geospatial technology has been used to improve the safety and economic empowerment of women?
Yeah, interesting. See, what I understood, the safety of women is a prime focus of every government, and so is that for Indian government, especially. You all might have heard of something called, the Nirbhaya Fund, which happened after the very unfortunate event which happened in Delhi. So there is a project called Safe City Project, under which the unsafe zone, based upon the crime rate, the hotspot of crime, and the road network accessibility, and the habitation settlement, and all those different parameters which can be overlaid on the GIS domain So the Safe City project has been implemented by government of Delhi. They also pull in the real-time data from the use of CCTV cameras, panic buttons, and also, you know, on your mobile phone, all Android phone have that emergency caller kind of a thing. So have you ever thought how this emergency call, when you press and the people will come to your rescue? So this is a direct example of, I would say, a geoinformatics, the contribution in ensuring the women's safety. So this is what I would like to comment on that. Regarding your second question, like what is the role of geoinformatics in improving the socio-economic condition of the woman? Is it? 1 second, I will see if this is the question, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, see what happens, remote sensing and GIS, what we call geoinformatics, it has to do nothing to directly improve the socio-economic condition of the people. The socio-economic condition of the women, if it has to improve, there are n number of schemes, there are n number of scholarships, and it is only for those who, again, I would like to say, who are willing to venture into this. If anybody is not really willing to venture into it, nobody can help you. So in terms of geoinformatics, how it has been useful in improving the socioeconomic condition of the woman, I have one example through the project I am associated with. Like I am working currently at Rural Development and Watershed Monitoring Division, where we are supporting Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act program of the Ministry of Rural Development. So talking about women in city, they will have multiple opportunities to be economically empowered, like financially they have options for their livelihood, right? Even a college going student can give tuitions and earn some money to have the basic maintenance, and their parents also, they will find some job to help their child. But in villages where women have no resources, so scheme like Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee, through that the job is given to the women who are unskilled workers. So we did one GIS analysis. That paper is also published. You can Google it, through which we found that wherever there were the hotspot of Manrega work in Prakasham district of Andhra Pradesh, when we later collated this data through machine learning with the census data, we found that, to our surprise, these were the location there was more population of the unskilled women in this area. So this is how the GIS provides valid proofs to how the particular scheme is helping women to have some financial security or not. And in terms of direct financial security, yes, if more women are coming and joining geoinformatic courses, so they become more financially empowered. So this is the direct role of geoinformatics for making women more financially empowered. Also, they give them sufficient data, and they can analyze those data to see where they can venture more. What are the suitable sites where they can, suppose a person is a woman is going to start a startup, right? So every startup will be based upon some resources like human capital, physical capital, 5 capitals of livelihood. So mapping of these resources can be done by remote sensing, and then identifying the suitable area with all the 5 resources, the person can go in and start their venture. So this is my understanding of the question which has been put forth. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Stutee. We have a next question from Ms. Sakshi, MSc Geoinformatics.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I want to ask that how important is self-advocacy for women in STEM?
So your question is, can you repeat again?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask that how important is self-advocacy for women in STEM?
See, when it comes to self-advocacy for women in STEM, it is all about breaking down barriers and having some kind of a more exclusive platform, and enabling the personal and professional growth. So self-advocacy that way is very, very important for women in STEM. So what, as my one more invited guest, she spoke in our in opening message, that we have to overcome the bias and stereotypes. And yes, we are the example here itself. Women cannot do. We have to overcome. Why women cannot do field work? They can. Women cannot work out of house because they have to take care of children. No, if there is somebody else who can take care of children as like you, yes, definitely you can work. But I would advise all the women that you should have some kind of arrangement where you're not if you're not compromising your family's welfare, right? And going for work and earning money, and you are working, yeah, you are a working professional. So we have to overcome those kind of stereotypes and biases, and then this is one of them. Then about the visibility and recognition, self advocacy comes, when whatever you are doing, you should not keep it under the table. You should tell that, yes, this is what is my contribution. And once you bring your contribution to the forefront, then only you get the recognition. So working like any other person, and this applies not only to women, it applies to all, irrespective of gender, right? So this is how, so we have to secure the opportunities. We have to break the biases and stereotypes and inculcate the skills of leadership. Once you inculcate those skills, you have to come into the role where you can mentor others. Like I would, another, one this thing close to my heart, one statement. I was in standard grade 4th when my teacher, she said, she was my geography teacher, like सरस्वती के ज्ञान की बड़ी अनोखी बात, ज्यों ज्यों त्यों 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 बड़े बिन बाटे घट जान. So when you are in a leadership role, you have to start mentoring other, and there your self advocacy, it flourished further. And in science also, it is not only in science, in all subjects, but yes, in science it becomes more important because there is a cutting edge competition, right? Firstly with the men who are there, and secondly with your own fellow women colleagues. So if you nurture some of the practices of, as I said, breaking the stereotype, walking, and then making visible recognition, mentoring, and all those things, and this is how the gap of confidence is bridged, and then this self advocacy, we can say, yes. And that's how it happens. So government of India through DST is having multiple schemes, yeah, to promote, because we all know, women, when you teach a man, it is a man who is, taught. But when you teach a woman, it is a family which, which will be more progressive. So it is very, very important, and acknowledge the role of women in STEM, right? And moreover, there is a man, there is a woman. The thought process of the two entities are different. So that's how the woman, I believe, I being a woman, I believe that women thinks, whenever they are thinking, they think everything more holistically, right? And when you think holistically, then you become more valuable resource, which is recognized. That's why all kind of attempts are being made by the government to bring back women in work. So that is how the in STEM field it becomes important regarding self advocacy of women. That's what I feel. I hope I'm able to do justice with the question.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the answer.
Yeah.
Also, in addition to this, I mean, what Dr. Stuti has rightly mentioned, there is also one concept called as perception management, which is quite close to this area. And specifically when you are in a leadership role, right? So, say, for example, a leader is expected to be rational, right? Now, there is one thing being rational, and other thing is showing rational. So, unless you show that you're rational, you will not gain confidence of more and more followers or the juniors from your side. So as and when you know, move up in the value chain or in the ladder and moving towards the leadership roles, showing these kind of or exhibiting these kind of attributes is highly, it's very, very important, because you know that is how you cannot talk to each and every person individually when you are into a leadership role. Say for example, if there are 500 people in your team reporting to you indirectly, you cannot talk to all 500 people very frequently. But then how you can demonstrate these values? Through the perception management. You have to show by actions, and as they say, you know, actions speak louder than words. So through your actions you have to exhibit these characteristics, which later can be perceived and then taken forward by your juniors. So I think this to me is a very important concept, and I have learned it in during my journey. So this is how I believe is a very, very important concept.
Dr. Sonali, you had raised a very interesting debate or a topic, I would say, conversation. See, many a time I feel that whenever I have been able to successful in doing some of the complex things, is that I have never felt that I am a woman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep beating around the bush that for women, for men, and all that. So when you are there, so you already, if you start feeling that you are a woman, you don't feel as if it is something less or more. You are, when we call up gender, talk about gender equality and all that thing, that means you are equal to anybody, right? And when you start thinking that, neither you will have a kind of a bias, nor you will have a kind of insecurity. And there is where you can make a difference in every field.
State of mind. Yeah.
Yeah, is that it? Thank you.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, gender equality has to be in your mind rather than it is in the society.
Yeah, we may go to next question, Dr. Vidya. I think you are mute.
Yeah, thank you. So next question is from Miss Dena, MTech Geoinformatics.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah.
So my question is, how can institutions better support women in science who want to balance their career with their family life?
Why institution should help? Why? Why what is that is not help? Already there are so many methods or schemes where institution is ready to help. But as you ask, you are an upcoming, professional, budding with lot of energy. In every institute, see, women, what I feel is many a time this kind of, a kind of, I know many men are also joined in this. There's something called sexual harassment at workplace, right? For only that I think there is an institutional mechanism required, right? And for every institution, such bodies are mandatory and they're already in place. It is, and if it is not, I advise all the women who have joined this particular thing that never feel it. If I going to complain or something bad will happen to me, and at the same time, one should not misuse it, right? So where the institutional arrangement is there, we should recognize it and don't misuse it, and help in a judicious kind of a system. वो नौबत ही नहीं आने देना है. So you have to nurture, you have to present yourself in a way that you are not harmed. So you have to be very, very careful. And institution is there everywhere to say. Where it is not there, you can always go to a good friend who can advise. You can go to your mother. Never keep it unshared with your fellow people who care for you. So more than an institution, it is your fellow people who can help you. They are the right people. And institution is also there. If your question is about how institution is helping in terms of jobs or in scholarship, there are so many. So it is there. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. We have a next question from Ms. Anisha, MSc Geoinformatics. Anisha? Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My question is, how can society encourage more young girls to pursue careers in science?
Good one. Why should society encourage girls? Yeah. Why should society? You think society is not encouraging girls currently, or it is something else? What is stopping girls, or is there something which is stopping girls from encouragement? I would like to know from Dr. Vidya, in your current batch of masters geoinformatics, how many are women?
80% are women.
So where is the lack of encouragement? There is no lack of encouragement. Why you need everything from society? You should give back to society. See that what happens? No, we expect too much from the society. Yeah. Where this is the time has gone where there were women were holded and kept at home. Now there is a reversal. We should give back to society, right? So that is what I feel. I have nothing much to comment on it basically.
Yes.
So take out from your mind that society should encourage. Society is having common policies for all, for all. For women who have not been able to work after their studies, sabbatical, when there is a sabbatical, especially when women get married, they have children, there is a period when they have to give up their jobs to take care of their family, right? So at that, for to cater with it, the WAS women schemes have been started by DST. But no, I am totally against it. We are expecting too much from the society. We should give back to society, and we have enough, to be given by the society itself.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Sonali ma'am, you want to add something?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, good question. I cannot say what society should be doing. What I have done is something that I can definitely talk about. So, there was a time where there were a lot of young moms who were reporting to me and in my team. And, they certainly were facing challenges because they have very young kids and managing work because work is challenging and every work is challenging. So they were facing this issue managing both work and home and managing the child. So I as a manager have spoken with the organization, and then we have established certain flexible policies for these young moms wherein they can work on in flexi hours. And at that point of time, 15 years back, where working from home was not very common at that point of time, so we actually had helped them to have the entire infra and facility to work partially from home, partially from office, and work in flexi hours. And we had actually also had supported them with their young kids. So whenever we used to work late or on weekends, we had one person who used to take care of the kids. They used to come to office, and we all actually have work like that, all women with their kids. We used to go to office, and so even our office and organization have supported these kind of policies and flexible work hours. So this is something that we had done long time back. So maybe, and nowadays there are a lot of schemes for flexi hours, working from home, and a lot of other initiatives which different corporates are taken up, like the woman who is coming back after their maternity. There are a lot of support that has been given by the corporates. So I think all these kind of initiatives certainly are there, wherein you can get help and support from. And another very important thing is, this entire webinar or workshop is about empowerment. So I think empowerment is in your mind. I mean, you have to empower yourself to be less affected uh, by the external things. So gender biases or stereotypes, yeah, they are there, they will be there. But how much would you let these things affect you? it's certainly in your hand, and there are a lot of initiatives which are supporting women, and we should empower ourselves, I think, through all those initiatives and your internal power. So that is what is most important to me.
Yeah, even I would like to also add in this what Dr. Stutee had said, and Sonali ma'am is saying that you have to empower yourself, and if you yourself will feel that no, I need a support. Even I'm like, just to share my experience, I have a 7 months old baby, and still I'm empowering myself with managing the leadership role and the teaching and research, everything. So I'll definitely agree with both of you that we have to empower ourselves. Yes, we need society support, but ultimately we need to empower ourselves. So yeah, so that is my Dr. Suti. I think you are in mute, but
I have one point to add. See, definitely, anything when women come out of home, it is very, very challenging. We all
yes.
know. So we have to overcome the challenges by taking support from family, from friends, from colleagues, and from office. But then, when you need help, you should say that I need help instead of really worrying what I should do, whether I should leave my job. So there should always be a plan B, like how to you be remain in the profession of your choice where you aspire to be. So that is how you break the glass ceiling and come out of it, and pursue it. And once the things are set in place, they fall in place, nobody can stop you. There's no looking back. And sometimes if you have to go back, I have seen many men leaving their career for their parents.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, absolutely.
we should acknowledge that also. And that is how many women also they leave job for their family. So that is about priority. What is a priority at what point of time for you? We should make wise decisions, right?
Yes.
So that's what I feel.
Yeah, thank you. We'll move on to the next question. Ms. Shreya from MSc Geoinformatics.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Shreya Ghosh. My question is, how do you see the role of machine learning and AI in transforming remote sensing and GIS?
Dr. Sonali, you want to
Yeah,
add on this?
sure, I'll do.
Yeah,
That's a very good question, Shreya. And, you know, certainly it's a huge AI and machine learning and data science can play a huge role in this area. Uh, Say, for example, if you consider a simple example of early warning of, earthquakes or flood situation or volcano eruptions or, wildfires or any kind of incidents, if you can easily predict the early warning signs of these disasters, how many lives you can save. And this is, to me, is the most important application of data science and machine learning in geospatial or in the societal, what do you say, life saving initiatives. So this, and then there are many. So these are the critical areas, and then there are many areas like, say for example, agriculture, where people are getting affected, their health is getting affected by working on farms, pesticides and all those things. So we can use sensors, we can use robotics to actually do all those jobs which otherwise are very difficult for the people, and it's affecting their health. So it has a huge application. Data science, machine learning has a huge application across all the fields. So whenever, I am conducting these webinars, I just keep telling these students that wherever there is data science is applicable. So all types of data, all types of sectors, industry sectors, all types of societal reforms, these initiatives are very, very, very important. I mean, you just take the name and it is applicable over there. So many applications. If I keep, taking names, we can spend the entire day over here. There are huge applications and lot of critical areas wherein life can be saved using the robotics, machine learning, and AI models?
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
would like to add just a moment. See this, as Dr. Sonali said that data is there. So the volume of the data which is coming, the volume of the data which is coming, the frequency by which the data is coming, right? So considering that, if we have to address the real world problems using geoinformatics, it is very, very important that AI and ML is used. That is how it becomes very highly useful for the real-time applications, considering the volume, veracity, and the frequency of the data. So when there is AI ML, but nevertheless, it do not says that having AI ML, many people are afraid if AI ML comes, the jobs will be gone and they will take the professions will. No, there are people also who are required to handle because they don't have that natural intelligence. But to handle huge amount of the data, only judicious use of those application can be made in real time with AI.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
We have next question from Ms. Ishita Saxena from MSc Data Science and Geoinformatics, MSc Data Science and Special Analytics.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My question to you is, what advice would you like to give to young women who are aspiring to build their career in business intelligence and analytics?
Okay, so Ishita, again, good question. So, see, if you want to build your career in BI and analytics, certainly I would like to understand the reasons. I mean, we can definitely talk maybe offline later on, not initially at this point of time. But building your career is, you will be doing something for at least 10 to 15 years into that domain. The very first thing that you have to understand and evaluate is that why do you want to take up career into this? What exactly do you like about it? And what exactly makes you think like you want to make your career into this field? So, A, are you interested? Are you passionate about it? That is something that that will keep on, that will help you or motivate you to keep doing or working in that field. क्योंकि किसी फील्ड में काम करना 10-15 साल या 20 साल is not very easy unless you are interested in that area or that domain. So that is one thing that everyone has to evaluate, that why do you I want to get into, what exactly do I really like about it, and would I really keep doing this certain things for over the period of time. And for that you also need to understand what exactly, how is it to be into this domain, this industry, and what exactly, how is a typical life of a data scientist. एक data scientist दिन में क्या काम कर रहा है, what exactly is the routine, and is it something that fascinates me, is it something that interests me. And as they say, the ikigai part, the finding the sweet spot, what do you like, what can you do, the skill and interest, and then what the market is really needed, what is needed in the market, and what will give you money. So it has to be a sweet spot of these four things: your interest, your skills, what does market need, and what exactly is something that a customer would pay you for. It has to be a sweet spot of these four things. So getting into BI analytics certainly requires a huge passion about data. If you really like to play with the data, slicing and dicing the data, understanding the data, aggregating the data, taking out the insights from the data, if all these things fascinates you, then certainly data related skills has to be built. तो एक होता है टेक्नोलॉजी टेक्निकल स्किल्स और दूसरा होता है दी एनालिटिकल स्किल्स so analytical skills are certainly required to analyze the data, to make most out of it, to identify the hidden patterns, actionable insights. And then second very important skill is how do you present that, because when you are presenting these insights to the non-technical or the business users, से एक बहुत ही कॉमन केस स्टडी है इन BI एनालिटिक्स, दैट इज मार्केट बास्केट एनालिसिस. एंड ये बहुत, I mean, if you Google it, it's a very known story that in a market basket analytics, you identify the product associations. So there was a project which was undertaken by a team for the Walmart data, and they were trying to identify the associations, the product associations, and a very interesting product association was revealed, and that was, the association of beer with a diaper. So people can very easily understand that ठीक bread and butter, milk and bread, these associations are very common sense, milk and fruits, ये बहुत common है. But ये एक association uncover हुआ by data analytics, that how a person who is buying is gone to Mart to buy a diaper is also buying a beer. This was something that was very unexpected. And how these patterns can be how you can reveal how this pattern can be uncovered through data is you have to take a deep dive into the data. There are a lot of data analytics tool are there. I mean, as simple as Excel or as complex as SAS. There are a lot of tools. But are you passionate enough to spend hours analyzing the data and try to identify the patterns, the stories? That is one part of it. And how passionate are you to then, tell these stories to the rest of the world, to the non-technical, to the business people, so that they can understand and find it interesting. So these are the two parts of it. And if you really find it fascinating, interesting, and if you're passionate about it, then certainly BI and analytics is the right field for you. And then you can start, capturing the skills about it. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. It was good to know your insights about it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a next question from Shalvi Pandey. Shalvi, over to you. Shalvi, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So, good afternoon, ma'am. My question is, how important is community and networking building for women in tech and the leadership roles?
I think, yeah, networking and community is important for everyone, not only up to the woman, it is important for everyone. Uh, but up to a certain extent. I mean, see, definitely it will give you the visibility and references, and you have to keep learning from other society and your networks. But after a certain point of time, as we keep on telling you all, that you have to take the responsibility of your own learning and empowerment, and continuous learning is the only thing which will keep you there. So, entering into our tech role is comparatively easy as compared to staying there for a long time. So these kind of things would certainly help you to a certain extent, when you can learn from your network, where you can, get a increase your visibility through the network. But after a certain point of time, you have to take the complete responsibility of your learning, your career, and continuous learning is the only thing which will keep you there into the technology or into the field that you want to get into and you want to grow. So, the pace of learning, as they say, the pace of learning should always be higher than the rate of change. इससे पहले नई टेक्नोलॉजी आती है, आपको वो सीख के उसको मास्टर करके you have to start delivering on it. This is how I have been following since last 20 years, and that definitely help anyone to be into that role or to be into the technological space.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Like to add one thing here. See, very interesting one, though very informal. The question is, how important is networking and community building for women in tech and leadership role? See, I being a woman, I have a WhatsApp group, and most of the WhatsApp group women will join are those related to sales, right? I don't know if you agree with me. So for men, networking and community building, it comes naturally, yeah, because they have that freedom to go out and venture in the outside world. But for women, rather, it becomes difficult because of their own limitation. They can't go out for long hours and whatever that is there. So nevertheless, it is very important, equally important for women, especially in tech. And so now with social media, things have become easy. You should be actively using these resources, to build your networking, and do it ritually, seriously, as seriously we do many other WhatsApp group where women chit chat and do many things of shopping and whatnot. Men, I don't know. My husband, at least I know, or my son, they don't have any WhatsApp group in their phone where they are doing shopping. Yeah. So we should do, because they can venture into outside world, they are doing a lot of networking. But for women, since we are into this, the networking takes a backseat. It depends upon your profession. If your profession demands you to network, then you have to use your social media very wisely.
Thank you, ma'am. We have the last question, Ms. Tanvi from MSc Data Science.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Have you ever faced gender bias in your career, and how did you deal with it?
My opening
So,
this thing was
yeah.
started with that only. So I dealt with it by proving that yes, I can do it. So that's how you should take it. So whenever somebody thinks that you are a woman, you cannot do it, you have to put little extra effort, but never you let them down. Those who think yes, she cannot do it, prove it that you can do it. That's how you handle it. Very simple. There are no lessons required, no effort required. You have to just deliver. Yeah. Dr. Sonali.
Yeah, of course. So, Tanvi, I mean, I would not say gender biases as such, but I will repeat that there are stereotypes in the society when people think that if she's a woman, she'll behave in certain way. If they're men, they'll behave in certain way. These are stereotypes. They are there and they will be there. How will you break it is just you have to first break it in your own mind. If you believe that you are somewhere less being a woman, or you cannot do certain things which men can do, then that the journey becomes difficult. So you have to break those barriers in your mind, that I will not be able to do this, that after marriage I may not be able to do a job, after having kids I may not be able to do a technical. Yeah, with relative technology there's a very very common stereotype that women are more suitable for management role than technical roles. That is again, the thought in your mind. It's not reality. There are many women who have proven that, and time and again they're coming and getting into the technology field. By choice, if you want to go into any field, it's your choice. But those stereotypes, I think, should not be entertained. Society में ये सब कुछ रहेगा. It will be there, and you cannot change the society in one single day. But how you can protect yourself is you have to empower yourself by not getting affected through the thoughts and opinions of other people about you or about the woman. That is how you can deal with it.
Thank you, ma'am.
I hope your question is addressed.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had done with all the question and answer round, though we have many, but we had shortlisted with the limitation of time, we had just shortlisted few questions. So maybe offline sometime we can meet and then we can discuss on this. So sir is also here. Sir, over to you, sir.
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Vidya, and thank you, Dr. Stutee Gupta and Sonali Madam, for that. No, your insight about that. No, the women in science, and what that. No, the Dr. Stutee Gupta has given that anecdote when she has joined Indian Space Research Organization, and how that. No, the acceptance was there actually. And I know that no, I know Dr. Stutee since last 25 years. So yeah, 25 years, more than 25 years. That no, the how hard work she has done then while she was working in Andaman and Nicobar, which is that time very remote. even that is still very remote actually. And she solely has worked on that Andaman and Nicobar. That's proven that the woman can lead any of that the scientific activities. I have seen that some of my colleagues in Arunachal Pradesh, remote of the Arunachal Pradesh, and they have done that the very extensive field work for the development of the science. So same over here that Sonali madam that the how that the what experience he has that on how women can come up with that that to lead that the scientific fraternity. And thank you for that. Although that I am odd man in this women society. Thank you for that, for your insight, all of you. And thank you to given a time to us and to share that, that your experience. Certainly, it is going to be motivate to all students. Generally, in SIG, we have a 60% women students, and that's say that the how science is growing up in that the women, because that as a science institute, we can see that the trend, how the trend has changed in the last 20 years. So thank you all of you. Thank you for that your times, and thank you all those our audience present over here from that the Symbiosis Institute of Geoinformatics. Have a great day.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
sir. Have a
Tarun,
great
for
day,
this
you too.
opportunity, and for your kind words, what you have shared about me. Thanks a lot. Thank you all the participants also for their interest in this webinar.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
And also Dr. Vidya for moderating the session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.